Well, hey there everyone. Welcome back to Stuff in Excel. I'm Richard. What we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the new AI functions that are built into Excel 2024. Now, to use those functions, we're going to have to download an add-in that's available for ChatGPT. So the way we're going to do that, you can see it on my ribbon, by the way. If you look at my ribbon, go all the way over to the right, you can see it up here. It says the ChatGPT for Excel. Now, you probably don't have this on your Excel screen now, but I'm going to show you how to get it if it's not there. We're going to go to this new button here that you see in Excel 2024 called Add-ins. Excel 2024 has a lot of different add-ins that you can put into Excel to really enhance the functionality of the tool. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this. We're going to go down to more add-ins, and when you do that, it's going to give you a search engine. You're going to search for ChatGPT. And you're looking for this one down here. This third one down says ChatGPT for Excel. This is the one you want. You don't want any other ones. You don't want the one that says ChatGPT for Excel Word. You want the ChatGPT for Excel. And you're going to add that to your screen. And when you click that button, it's going to ask you if you want to continue. You say yes, and it's going to, after a few moments, it's going to put this tool up here on your ribbon. Now, when you first open it, when it first loads up, you're going to see something that looks like this. You're going to see a window open up on the right-hand side of your Excel screen. That's okay. You just have to shut it down and say continue and then shut it down, and you shut it down just like that. Now, we're going to look at the functions. If you go into cell, I'm going to go into cell B2, and I'm going to type in equals AI. And when I do that, you'll notice right here a whole bunch of AI tools open up for us. Now, these are new functions that are built into Excel that you can use if you've got the AI add-ins added to your Excel. So when I do AI, we're going to look at a few of these. We're going to look at AI.ASK, we're going to look at AI.FILL, and we're going to look at the AI.EXTRACT. These are all kind of interesting tools, and I want to look at those real quick. So the first one is AI.ASK. And with all these functions that we've seen before in Excel, we can get Control-A, and it brings up our little dialog box. It helps us to identify what we need to do. First thing it's going to do, it's going to want to know what our prompt is. And in this case, it is a prompt that we're going to tell ChatGPT what we want it to do. I'm going to start it with a quote, and I'm going to say, create a 20-word response to the comment. Close quote. Now, you can type in anything you want. This is what I wanted it to do. And I'm going to now, my value is going to be whatever's over here in cell A2. So I'm going to click that. Now, because this is in a table, it's probably going to copy it all the way down and do this for each one of these questions. So I'm going to say OK. It says it's busy. It's doing stuff. Now look at that. Not only did it create a response to each of these comments, it created an original response to each comment. For instance, in cell A2, I watched your video and really liked the way you modified the knife. Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed the video and the knife modification. Your support means a lot. Now I'm going to expand these so we can see them all. Look at this one down here. Do you do this for a living? Yes, I do this for a living. It's my passion, and I love sharing my knowledge and skills. Can you show me how to set up a YouTube channel? Sure. And it goes on to, so each one of these is a special, it's a customized response from ChatGPT. And what's nice about this is you can automate now your responses. So what if I said, let's put in another question. Let's say, can you tell me how to get to Carnegie Hall? And let's put a question mark. Let's see what it says. I have no idea. Sure, the best way to get to Carnegie Hall is to take the subway to 57th. Now, I was afraid it was going to say practice, man, practice, which is an old joke. But it gave you the directions to how to get to Carnegie Hall. So, really great tool. Another way we can use the ASK tool, the AI.ASK tool, is we can actually type in a question and we can get the answer. So if I go equals AI.ASK, and I do my dialog box, my prompt is going to be this question that's up here in cell B9. Now what's interesting about that is when I hit enter, it's going to give me an answer to that question. So I got the answer to that particular question. But this is an active function, which means when I type in a different question, what state in the U.S. has the largest population. It's going to go through and it's going to give me a new answer. Okay? We might ask, which state in the U.S. has the most coastline? And it's going to compute a new answer. So it's an active function. Every time I change the prompt, it gives me a new answer. Really useful tool, I think, in Excel. Now let's go look at the fill function. The fill function is a little bit different, and it can be a little finicky. So we've seen before flash fill. You've seen that. So for example, if I wanted to do Richard Rand, and I do Richard here, and I go down to the next cell, I'll hit Control E, it's going to flash fill all those cells, pull the first name from each one of those names. It uses Richard as a pattern. I can do the same thing with last name, right? I can now go down to the next one, and I hit Control E, and it pulls the last name for each one of those names. So it's a really useful tool. But what happens when the names you're trying to split up are actually in another column, where you want to do something that isn't real obvious, right? So how do we do that? Well, ChatGPT for Excel gives us an interesting tool in the AI. We're going to do equals AI. We're going to do .fill. And when we do fill, we're going to highlight the example that we want it to use right here. And now we're going to simply go over and type in what we're trying to find out. IBM. We hit enter. It's going to tell us, oh, that's in Armonk, New York. Now, what happens if I copy this down the page to the other cells? It's actually not going to give me the answer I want, because what's happening is as I move this, the target cells are also moving, and it gets very confused. So it doesn't tell you this, and you'll look at a lot of videos out there that won't tell you that this is what you need to do. But the only way I've been able to figure out to make it work is I'll say equals AI.FILL. Now when I highlight my example up here, I am going to fix that using F4. It's going to fix that reference. Now when I do REI Outdoors, it tells me, oh, that's in Kent. And let's see what happens if I copy this down the page now. Look at that. It filled it out. Now, it didn't do it for Amazon, but ChatGPT is funny. Sometimes it just doesn't know what to do. And so I'm going to just copy that down again and see if maybe it learns. And it did. It learned the second time. And what's great about this, again, it's an active function. If I added another company down here, it would give me the name or the headquarters city for that company as well. So the intelligent AI fill tool can be used for more than just separating names. It can also be used for actually searching things. Now, another tool we use, which is similar to fill, is extract. So here we want to extract some names, but the problem is the names are embedded within a complex string of characters. So the way we're going to do that is we're going to click on this cell here. We're going to say equals AI.EXTRACT. And what we're going to do first is we're going to go over and we're going to hit our Control A. And it's going to say, what's the value? So the first thing we click on is what we're wanting it to examine. It's going to examine this cell over here to the left. And we're going to now extract. We want to extract, and I'm going to type in first name and hit enter. And it didn't know what to do, right? So let's go back and try that again. Let's see what I might have done wrong in this. Well, let's see what happens if I put quotes around first name. It found it, okay? So it needed to know that first name was a string, not a value, and I can just copy that down the page. Now I can also do another way. Let's say we have a column header. The column header is last name. Now I can now do equals AI.EXTRACT quote, and I can go over and pick my string. Now I can hit comma, and I can go up and I can hit last name. Now it's going to just find that, and it reads it as a string of characters, not as a value. And I hit enter, and it's going to find that last name. Now I can't copy this. If I try to copy this down, it's not going to like it, because remember, the reference is to C1, and C1 changes every time the formula goes down the page. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this again, and we're going to do equals AI.EXTRACT, and we're going to go over and pick our string, comma. We're going to hit last name, but we're going to fix it, okay, with F4. And you notice that fixes it. We can see the $sign between this column C and the row 1. Now we'll hit close, and we'll hit enter. And now what we can do, we can simply drag that down the page, and it's going to find all those last names for us. So again, you got to remember, as you move a formula, the references will move also, so you have to be careful with that. Let's look at one other way to use extract, and this one is really kind of cool. Let's say we've asked everybody to send us their email, and they all sent us a note with their email in it. Now, what we'd like to do is extract that email address, but it's kind of a complex item here, right? So we've got up here on column A, or cell A1, extract, and what we're going to extract is the word email. So the way I'm going to, and this is in a table, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to say equals AI.EXTRACT. I'm going to put my parenthesis. I want it to search what's in A2. I'm going to hit comma. Now I'm going to go up here to email in B1. And I'm just going to hit enter, and it's going to extract that email. Look, and it did it for all of them. You notice I didn't have to fix that. That's because this is in a table, and it reads email as being in a header. If this had not been in a header, like it was on the previous tab, that wasn't in a header, we'd have to fix it. But because it's in the header of a table, I'm able to just type it once, and it copies it right down and extracts all those emails. That's a really powerful way to use the AI.EXTRACT tool in the new Excel 2024. Hopefully that was helpful to you. If you like this video, please click the subscribe button below and click that notification bell so that whenever we have a new video, you'll be sure and get notification of it. Until next time, have a great day.